I'm thinking maybe I should thank you. I should buy you another round. Because you care, and I swear that I'm here, but I'm there. It's getting harder to hold me down. Greetings, Leo, all placements. This is Hand-Me-Downs by Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Mac. Love him so much. For some of my Leos, someone here is just a sucker for pain. Seriously though, so I'm gonna get personal in this one. I usually do share some personal things because it's just easier to relate that way. I remember, so like growing up, I dealt with a lot of sadness. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the depression word in here, but anywho, I dealt with a lot of that growing up, and I journal a lot. I still journal a lot, but I almost had this obsession with listening to sad songs, staying in sadness, and like sabotaging good things. I mean, even literally later on in the song, he says, "I made it, but I hate it. Once I build it, I break it." So that's kind of someone here that I'm reading for. There's a Leo who, and there's a Marianne Williamson quote. I didn't write this down. I'm just channeling this now. But it's something like, it's not our failure or possibility of failure that is our greatest fear. It's actually our ability to be great. Who am I to be great? Who am I to have all these things? It's actually our best attributes that we tend to sabotage the most, that we are the most fearful of. And so we kind of cling to complacency. We cling to sabotaging things. We cling to, going to the sadness. When a relationship is just so perfect, that's when we're like, oh, I think I'm just not in love with you anymore because I'm not feeling the obsession of the push and the pull, which is trauma bonding, by the way. But once you heal your nervous system, then you don't trauma bond anymore. And you understand that, just like the old, I don't know, there's a lot of Eastern old proverbs and quotes on it, where it's like, that person who makes your heart flutter like a butterfly, you don't love them. The person that you feel total stillness and rest and ease, that is where true love is. It's just so many people don't even truly love themselves, that they feel like healed, healthy connections, healthy love is actually boring. So it doesn't feel like love at all. It's just like, well, this is boring. I don't love you anymore. No, this is healthy, and your nervous system is still, I'm addicted to you. I can't, it's still, to the toxicity. So until you heal and learn to really love yourself, yeah, real, healthy, healed connections, healed work situations, doing healthy things is going to feel boring or like it's difficult. There's going to be a dissonance. You're not going to connect with it. My point with that, though, is I thought that my greatest creativity came from my sadness. I thought that my best dance improvisation, I feel like my best poetry, I thought my best photography, I thought all of my best art came from me being impeccably sad. So like, even if there's something great in my life, like I had a really great boyfriend. I had two really great boyfriends growing up that I don't regret it now, because I just see we're just different people, and I love the wives that they're with in their lives. Like, they're meant to be where they're meant to be. But there was some time immediately after where it was like, that relationship was perfect. Why did I mess up a good thing? Like, why was it perfect? Why was I upset about something that was perfect? It made no sense, except for the fact that my nervous system was not healed and anchored in enough. It's the same with people's substances. Some people are like, oh, but this thing is medicine, this thing is healing. Okay, well, newsflash, you're not supposed to live on stuff. It's supposed to be taken for a short period of time to help you with coping, to help things resolve, to help something else. And then once your nervous system is healed, you don't need outside sources. Like, God created everything that your body needs within you. And sometimes, we need outside sources, outside substances and things to aid in that healing process. But once you've gone through the healing process, that shouldn't be a thing anymore. So, it's like people who it's hard for them to get sober and whatnot. That's usually the battle there. There's a part of them who's like, who am I to be healed and great? For example, like putting smoke in your lungs, any sense of smoke. I don't care if you're only doing the broccoli or whatever, and you're like, well, this isn't cancer causing like the other stuff is. It doesn't matter. Putting smoke in your lungs in any way, shape, or form is quite literally self-mutilation. And that's okay, I'm not judging you, but it's self-mutilation. And once you get to a point where you love yourself enough and you're healed enough, you won't want to self-mutilate your lungs. You'll actually want them to thrive and expand. Maybe you'll get into Wim Hof breathwork. Maybe you'll get into marathons. Maybe you'll get into, long distance swimming or something. Like, there's something with that. So for my Leos, a lot of you guys can be dealing with self-sabotage in the sense of you are not quite ready to give up a certain vice or a way of living. You can also, for my Leos in a relationship, you know that it's hurting the relationship, but there's a part of you. I build it and then I break it. And you're just like, it's harder to lock me down. Now, at the same time, you're really grateful for your partner, because I was hearing the song God Gave Me You by Dave Barnes. He says, I've been a walking heartache, I've made a mess of me. The man that I've been lately isn't who I want to be. So, like, someone here knows what they've been doing is not in alignment with who and what their heart really feels. They know that. And then he's like, God gave me you for the ups and downs. God gave me you for the days of doubt when I think I've lost my way. God gave me you. So someone here is about to meet someone, or maybe you've pushed someone away because you feel like you're not worthy of this because you're still attached to that. Now, the other part of my personal share is once I actually really started doing deep healing work on myself, which takes decades, or at least a decade. It doesn't just happen in a couple months or anything. I started the harp in like 2018. I'm still learning things with that all the time. It's almost 2025. Like, I've been reading different spiritual texts. I've been reading the Bible my whole life. I've been praying. I've been meditating. My meditation changes all the time. I've tried different diets. I've done a bunch of different things, cold therapy, hot therapy, saunas, all of that. Neurofeedback therapy for multiple years. Slacklining, which I think is really great for balancing out the nervous system and the central nervous system, and just anywho. Long story short with that, it took a lot of that for me to, and I never had a substance issue per se, but I was the person who was, if I was with a group of people, like, I would partake in one or two of, like, I never had a problem. Like, you can ask anyone in my life. I've never had a problem with any of that. But I would, like, socially partake. And now I'm just like, no, like, that's just, I don't have a desire for that. Like, I love myself. I don't want to put poison in my body. I register that those things are quite literally poison. And I just personally, I'm not judging you for putting poison in your body, but I've gotten to a place in my life where I don't want that, and I don't need to numb out. Like, I have a great time. I have a fun time, and I'm actually more creative. I channel energy. Like, it's funny because when I was growing up, I thought, and they say, like, oh, artists need, they need vices. They need their sadness. They cling to those things because that's what makes their best music. But really, once they reach a certain pinnacle in their healing, that couldn't be further from the truth, because it's like God put the deepest seed of creativity within them without any of those substances within their vessel. So it's like, even if those substances are needed for them to kind of cope in a certain place of where they're at, if you honestly pursue your healing journey, I do believe every artist, every person will get to a place where they genuinely realize, wow, I don't want to put poison in my body. I don't want to partake in that. I don't need that in my life. And I'm actually exponentially more creative. I'm exponentially, more fit, more sharp in the mind. I actually see colors are brighter. Like, some people are like, but it makes the colors so bright and it does this. Actually, newsflash, because, in my college years, I tried different substances and things, and actually, colors are way more beautiful being sober, because your dopamine receptors and whatnot aren't totally fried, and you experience pleasure, literally pleasure, exponentially more when you're sober, because your body is healed and everything is really like spidey senses. So I don't know, those things dole you out over time, especially, and there is someone here who could have an issue with that. I was also hearing This Is the Way I Live. And in that song, he's like, don't need to work hard. That's the way I feel. This is the way I live. So, someone here is just kind of living the chill life. They could be, doing whatever. And they feel like they're just, getting along, going along to get along, however the saying is. But I don't know, someone here really does need to embrace a deeper healing journey and understand that actually your highest creativity, your best version of yourself, is honestly going to happen when you are in a sober vessel and you aren't putting external things internally. This was a different reading for you guys, Leo, but it's what was coming through for you this week. Bless you.